Hey YouTube, welcome back. Another unboxing video. Ooh, got a few to go through today. And a few things to share. Alright, so hope everyone's doing good. I have been... This is kind of... Oh. You can see here, that's my mic here. Hopefully the audio is okay. I'm kind of hiding this behind my shirt, but I think it's still better than having it directly in front of the camera here. So, a few things to unbox. Some of them are really cool. Some of them are just kind of cool, but we'll get into it. And while I cut these boxes open, just wanted to share a story, a little story time. I recently, so kind of the genesis of the story. Let me show, well, first off, let me show you guys a few PSA cards that I picked up. Picked this up here the other day. This is the Magneto PSA 10. It is the old PSA where they talked about their public company. Slab just fell on the ground. But this was originally the card that I really wanted to get. So it was a Magneto PSA 10 card that I really wanted. And the funny thing is, it was just too expensive. It was like 500 bucks. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to buy the poor man's version of this card. So I ended up buying a Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Let me just change my camera angle here. Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. So it has Magneto on the front and Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver on the side of them. And I'm like, this is like the poor man's Magneto. It's the team, whatever. So I picked that up. Here's the other one I got, off topic. But this is the first card appearance, I guess you can say. Psylocke, Jubilee, and Strong Guy, Forge, and Gambit. Storm has 2 cards in this set. Is that Banshee or Cannonball? That is Banshee, I believe. Yeah, that's Banshee. This is interesting. So on the back of this card, it has Banshee, Havoc, Storm, Jubilee, Wolverine, Gambit, Psylocke, Forge, Rogue, and Sunder. Like, I don't get it. There's Havoc, Jubilee, Psylocke, Wolverine, Storm, Banshee. Oh, Strong Guy. Strong Guy's name is Sunder. I had no idea. Okay, well, anyways, this is their rookie card. Well, first card appearance, I guess you can say. I mostly bought this because I do have 2 in here. I kind of grouped them together. You can see slab numbers are different. 223, and this one is 79. Anyhow, so coming back to this card here, this Magneto. So it's too expensive. It was 500 bucks or something like that. And I was like, you know what? Just kind of out of my price range. So I bought the poor man's version of this card, which was Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, so the team. And I got a really good price on it. I bought it for $67 US. And I was like, sweet, whatever. Got my Magneto fix in there. Good enough. And then fast forward a few months later, I don't know why, but it's just like, out in the blue, this popped up again. So Brotherhood of Evil. And also, like, the population report on this card was low. I think it was like under 15%, as in there wasn't, first it was rare, there wasn't a lot of them. But often it's like, is it rare because nobody wants it? Or is it rare because it's hard to get in that grade? For example, like Spider-Man is hard to get in that grade because everyone played with their Spider-Man card. Iron Man, same thing. Whereas there's cards which are rare, they're hard to get, but they're not, it's because nobody submits them. Like Lockheed, for example, is a card that I want. And it's hard to find because no one gets them graded. But it's not because it's hard to grade, it's just because nobody wants it. That's why it's rare. Anyhow, so coming back, rambling on here. So I picked up this Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. I said this 3 times now. And then one day randomly, just popped up. It was a auction of this card. And it was at $800. I'm just like, whoa, did I just stumble on a gold mine here? and it ended up at $1,100. And I was just like, holy smoke. So when it was $800, I quickly went to my collection, took out my card, one first to check if it was actually a PSA 10, it was. And then second, what I did right away was I posted it to end. I posted it to end when that, like I posted buy it now with a best offer, to end when the other guy's card is auction closed. So anyways, long story short, the card closed at $1,100 and I was just like, wow. So I bought it for $67. I listed it for $1,100 and then someone offered me $1,000. And so I reply him like, you know, an auction just closed for $1,100 and you're offering me $1,000? Like, not to be rude, but I'm like, I didn't say this to him. That's generally not how things go. Like, if an auction ends at, say, $1,000, a buy it now usually goes for like $1,200 or so. So I was a little bit like curious. I'm like, do you know how eBay works? Anyway, so I countered him 1,100, just to be fair. Like, that's what the last auction went for. I'm not being some greedy person to ask for above and beyond, whatever. So he counters my offer at $10.50, and I was like, I'm not happy with this. But I kind of took a step back and I thought about, well, I did buy this for $67, so I let it go. I mean, net of fees, I'm not saying I cleared $1,000 here, but net of fees, because eBay takes their fair share for their platform and their marketplace, whatever. Net of fees, I still made pretty good money, and I was like, this is kind of like the best flip that I've ever had. And I didn't buy it to flip it. I bought it because I really wanted that Magneto, and I ended up getting, I ended up buying this for, I think, $200. So I was supposed to buy it for $5. I bought it for $2, and then I ended up buying the poor man's version of this, his team, him and his two siblings. Sorry, him and his two daughters, not siblings, offspring, but not really. I don't think they're actually related. I'm not too sure, actually. Anyway, so that was kind of like very cool. I was very happy with that. Okay, anyways, enough rambling on. In one of the packages here, super excited to get this card. And this one's like, Magneto looks awesome there. I generally only get superheroes. I think the only two supervillains I got of this set is Magneto and Black Cat. Is Black Cat really a bad person? I don't know. Anyways, who cares? Marvel Girl. There we go. Isn't that neat? It's a good looking card. Yeah, I like that. The back here, like, they get like a 1 for centering. Could they not have put it a little higher? Like, the artist was too lazy to draw, like, I guess her bust here, and they just wanted to do a head and neck. I don't know. It's kind of funny, but real name, Jean Grey, group affiliation, X Factor. I think she's more of an X-Men than an X Factor, so interesting. Battles fought 263, wins 148, losses 83, ties 32, win percentage 56. Like, I don't know. Marvel Girl is kind of an Omega level mutant, which later on she becomes the Dark Phoenix. Yeah, maybe this is just early in her career where she was weak. But Marvel Girl is a mutant who has the mind-boggling ability of telekinesis, which allows her to manipulate any object by just thinking about moving it. When you add that to her power to zap anyone who even looks at her funny with a blast of pure mental energy, you have a woman who knows how to take care of herself in even the most dangerous situations. Did you know an evil alien life form assumed Marvel Girl's appearance and took her place for over a year? I didn't know that. And no one, not even her best friends, realized at the time. Huh, interesting. That's arch enemies, the Goblin Queen. I actually don't know who that is. if anything, the White Queen is their arch nemesis, stole her boy. Apparently, White Queen, like Emma Frost, is cheating, got Cyclops to cheat with on Jean Grey all this time, and even like when Jean Grey died, in I think one of the books in the Phoenix Saga, White Queen is just they're over, they're over Jean Grey's grave and they're like kissing. It's kind of like seriously, man. Like, anyways, Perseverance X-Men #1. So that's why it's interesting that the group affiliation would be X Factor. I'm sure she's also an Avenger, but yeah, I actually the other card that I kind of want is the Dark Phoenix first rookie card, but that's in 1991, not 1990, and I don't really want to branch out into like Psylocke is also in that set, and I thought about getting it, but I'm probably just gonna stick with OG, the 1990. If there's anything I learned from like collecting comics, like there's no point in really to branch out. I know at the end of the day, collect what you want, and that's the most important. But I just want to stick with the 1990. I don't want to dilute too much away from the set because I think this is the coolest set. It was the first, anyways. I think this is actually her X Factor costume. I mean, it could be X-Men as well. I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about Jean Grey. She's definitely one of the coolest X-Men. But yeah, this card here went for like, gosh, like $800 or something like that just a few months ago. And prices have just come down so much. Have they bottomed? Probably not. And I think a good pulse on sort of... oh, I hope my mic has been okay. It's been like shoved into my body this whole time. You know what? I'm going to just take this off. Oops. I want to just... because since you can't see it in my camera anyways, I am just going to clip this on my shirt. I think that's better. Okay, so I apologize if the audio was garbage earlier. It was pushing up against me. All right, next up here, X-Men #1, Beast Storm, Jean Grey, Professor Xavier, and a little bit of Iceman at the top here. Newsstand, goodness. I mean, I would love to get this whole set in a signed version with the 3, Jim Lee, Scott Williams, Chris Claremont, but I'm just so nervous. And the interesting thing is, this slab was graded new. You can tell because it has this newsstand at the top. And also, like the quick thing is to see if it's QR code. So this means this was graded in about 2023. But interestingly enough, like this book looks great. When I receive this, I'm like, wow, beautiful. Like sharp corner for a newsstand. Like you have to keep in mind, newsstand books were placed in actual newsstands, like stands at the gas station and like nowadays maybe like Safeway and stuff like that. And not retail hobby people. So people who bought these books were either hardcore collectors that went to pick these up at the grocery store and not at the hobby comic book stores, and kept them in immaculate condition. Now, here's the thing that I'm very worried about. Let me show you here on this side. I did a video about this. I think the title was No Longer an Acceptable Defect. You see how this front cover looks like it's pretty much like gonna rip off the staple. Like, so the staple is holding the book together, but the cover seems to like have moved. And like, oh, this one's pretty snug in here. I've heard that a lot of times it's because of CGC's casing that doesn't sandwich in the book tightly and it moves. It jiggles around and the cover is maybe a little bit more pressed onto like the inner sleeve, the inner welded sleeve. So that's why the cover and the book itself starts shifting microly, and then it starts to tear at these points. So what I'm trying to say is it was a 9.8 graded, but through time and handling and moving around, it starts to rip. And you can tell too, like, it's tough. Let me give you a tip here. I bought this one because it was actually a pretty good price. But you can tell if the cover, not all the time, but if the cover and the book itself has like a huge gap. This cover, it's not all the time, but see this? The book is here and the cover is here, and it's because this cover here shifted, right? So if you can't, a lot of times photos, and when I bought this, I knew about this, but when I bought this, when you look at this straight on, most people take that, not that close, you know, from back here, you look at the corners, but you don't really see this point. So one telltale sign you can see is if this is very far away, then you know like the cover is coming off. I'm just nervous, honestly, if I take this out and get it signed and get it pressed, they're going to rip the cover off the book and be like, it'll come back like green or something. Definitely not a 9.8. You see the top here is not as bad. So as evidenced by this side, you don't see as big of a gap between the cover and the book. And same on the back here, right? You got about like 1/2 a millimeter. Down here you got about maybe like 2 millimeters or so. It's because this cover has shifted over. So anyways, something to keep in mind. I do not have the full set of these in newsstand. I think I have 2 of them. The Magneto one is by far the hardest one to get. I rarely see the Gambit one, and I don't know why. I don't think it's a case that it's rare. It's more a case that just nobody wants it, so nobody slabs it. Yeah, debatable. Like, does more people like Beast or do people like Gambit? I think Gambit has a bigger following. I mean, Wolverine by far #1, but the Magneto cover just looks so good. And Storm technically are debatable. Like, Storm technically is the second most popular X-Men. Again, debatable. Maybe it's Gambit. I don't know. But I think Storm will be a huge character in the MCU. Also, if you guys haven't checked out the Alex Ross 60th anniversary edition of this cover, Google it because it looks absolutely amazing. Like super, super, super excited for that one. Okay, let's move on here. Rambling on. It's a long video, guys, so pause if you need to take a break and come back. This is the next one. This seller is on eBay called Little Susie. I think his name's Daniel Little or something like that. Oh, sorry here. So, Something is Killing His Children. 9.8 in the Diamond Retail Edition. So, the backstory, this is graded recently too. The backstory about this cover is a Jenny Fresen cover. This was given out to, that's a very, very bad corner. This is a very rough, this is forever going to stay as a 9.8 blue. I would not feel comfortable. Look at this corner. Oh boy. Binary tears to the moon. And look at this top. Look at that. Oh boy. It's like someone took it. Oh boy. Oh boy. Look at that. Let me see if I can get that angle. Look at that back. Look at that. It's a chunk missing out of there. Is that a huge spine tick? It's a huge color-breaking spine tick. Look at that huge color-breaking spine tick. It's on the back, I know, but still, this would not. I mean, this was graded recently, so I don't know. This is a CGC inconsistency, is what I would chalk this up to be. I would not, personally, I would not give this a 9.8. Oh man. Just to talk about what I talked about earlier, like this cover in the book is a little bit off, but this staple is not coming out. A few other imperfections. My goodness. Like, I do not believe this. This guy, look at this, 1, 2, 3 color-breaking spine ticks. I mean, I bought this pretty cheap, so I'm not complaining. 4 huge spine ticks. Like, I don't know, CGC, what are you guys doing? Like, I mean, I'm unhappy right now because this was cheap, but it wasn't free. And like, we got chewed up corners. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 color breaking spine ticks, and new grading, like new slab, as you can tell by the QR code, and 9.8. Like, I mean, we buy CGC, we buy CBCS slabs because we can trust that they were professionally graded and we know what we're buying. But at times like these, just disappointed. Like, I don't know. I hope they really get their grading consistency together. So that one is forever going to be a 9.8 blue. There's absolutely no chance to send that in for signing because I don't think it's a 9.8. I don't think it's going to come back a 9.8. Now, moving on to the next one. Hopefully we have a little bit better luck. And we got the color splash variant. Oh, sorry. So coming back to that one, I didn't finish my story. Something's Killing Children. So this has been optioned on Netflix and it's going to come out. I think they recently had hired a new story writer or something like that. The old two producers, I think they're producers, they kind of dropped out. Netflix has been going through some tweaks, I guess you can say, with the whole stock market roller coaster and whatnot. But the cool thing about this book here, and let me just pull this up right now to confirm. But CGC, what I'm trying to say is this book was offered at the New York Comic Con Diamond Retailer Breakfast. And it was kind of just provided to people, and then nobody knew what the book was at the time. So nobody took it. And then quite a few people probably threw it away. It's not like the ALL marketing one. That's another story. But this one, let me get facebook.com/Erica Slaughter Facebook. FB, I mean. Let's see here. This photos. Let me just read. I remember reading this once upon a time. Get you guys the facts. Okay, here we go. So it's done by Sanctum Sanctorium Comics and Oddities. Given out of the New York Comic Con Retailer Breakfast, rumored that only 200 individuals were at the breakfast, rumored. Also known as the black and white version copy. So yeah, not a lot of people showed up to that breakfast is what I'm trying to say. So hypothetically speaking, there's only two things we can conclude from this. One is Sanctum Sanctorium went back and realized how valuable this is and they printed a lot more, or they held some in back and then now they're releasing them. On the census, there are 90 in 9.8 blue, 35 in signed. In total, there are 128 plus 48. So let's just say 130 plus 150. There's about 180 of them. So I don't know. Do you believe that rumor that there's only two people at the breakfast, so only 200 copies are given out? Maybe. There's 180 of them in total, and most of them are a 9.8. So, take it with a grain of salt. I think I would guess Sanctum Sanctorium or whatever printed or took them out and then started selling them. I think I did buy my first version that threw them. Anyways, not important. This is the same thing. This is from them, Comics and Oddities, Sanctum Sanctorium, not affiliate at all. I honestly think that this one looks better. I have this one already, but I wanted to pick up a second one because I do not have one signed by Jenny Frison. I always wanted to get one signed by Jenny Frison because she's an awesome artist, cool person. She's just never done a signing with CGC. And I'm just very nervous. I wasn't at the time being when I got most of mine signed, but getting more and more nervous about sending things into third-party signers. This was not slabbed recently. You see no QR code. I mean, I can check CGC. Well, CGC verify. Okay. Last modern book, and then there's two big books coming here. Just to confirm this. 2, 5. So this one here was graded 2021. So this is like early stage when Jenny Frison must have signed it then. This has been held in someone's collection until now, and I picked it up pretty cheap. I mean, I think this series is awesome. I have no doubts in my mind that this series will be a success. The Last of Us recently came out, which was done very well. I think Something Skill and Children's storyline is better than that. Pretty big spine tick here. Focus, not my face, camera. I see that. Quite a big spine tick. That probably can like be heat, humidity pressed out. No, actually maybe not. Well, yeah, it's not color breaking, so that could be worked on. Doesn't matter though. I mean, this is already perfect. We got Jenny Frizen. Where is she? Jenny Frizen signed up here in red too. Beautiful. We got Tinian. We got Werther Del Edra. So in Pokemon terms, gotta catch them all. This one is done. All three of the artists and creators that worked on this have signed this. So this is a perfect specimen. I mean, it could be a 9.9, it could be a 10, but this is already in tip-top. Perfect. Okay, so that was 3. I got 2 more. I will just do these together. And so, about this next book, I didn't really mean to buy them, and I think I FOMO'd and I just did it. I have another video from quite a long time ago that it was titled, oh where have these newsstands gone, or something like that. So it is Wolverine #1, limited series edition, newsstand. This was, oh, interesting. So I got this at Comic Link, you can see the sticker. This was graded kind of recently, but not recent enough to have the newsstand. So I forgot when they announced it. Maybe it was like February or so. Well, let's just check this out. Let's look this up. 416. I love CBCS's census because you can look at all the other slab numbers in that population. CGC has not gone there yet. I hope CGC eventually catches on. This book does move a little bit, so I won't shake it too much. Anyways, coming back to things, this was graded December 2022. So it was graded recently, but not in January. I think it was like February so when they announced the whole newsstand on the label thing. So I have been on a journey to find the perfect Wolverine #1 in newsstand to be sent for signing. Chris Claremont and like Joe Rubenstein and Frank Miller. But I mean, newsstands are very tough to get in immaculate shape because of sort of where they came from. I mean, so I'm looking at this book. Look at this corner here. I don't even know what's going on. There's some extra bookage in there. This corner looks really good. Spine has a lot. See, with the light, you can kind of see it. It has quite a few, like spine tick. You can see here, spine tick, spine tick, spine tick, spine tick, spine tick. Nothing color breaking. Spine tick, spine tick, spine tick. This corner looks great. A lot of times this part of Wolverine's glove is damaged. This one is not. And this one is cut really nicely. A lot of times they're cut too late and there's like a sort of a discoloration line at the bottom of this. This one's really good. This corner is sharp. No issues on this side. This is honestly very good. It's not a 10, but I think this one has a fair shot at a 9.8. It's gonna need some work though because of all these spine ticks on the spine. The concern is this one here. It is color breaking. This is color breaking. Really hard to see, but it is color breaking. Big spine tick there. So essentially, I think spine ticks generally come when someone reads the book. It's very easy to create a spine tick when you read the book. I sometimes when I get magazines, I just purposely read them very roughly and see the damage that I do on them. Just for academic purposes, I guess. Anyways. Small thing, just wanted to share, and then we'll jump into the next one. But these are cool as well. Got 2 of these. Like they always say, when you like something, you gotta buy 2. So those are PSA 10s of Wolverine. Okay. And the other one, again, this is probably graded. Oh, let's see the slab number. These are graded 10 within 9 within each other. No, actually, no, sorry. 418. No, different slab number. Never mind. I thought these were part of the same submission. No, they are not. So same thing here. Graded recently. QR code, but no newsstand at the top. And so far, looking at the back, this one looks good. I do love this cover. What do you guys think? Hulk 340, is that it? Is that the iconic one? Hulk 340. Hulk 340 or Wolverine #1 limited series. What do you guys think? More images. Yeah, Hulk 340 with the claw and Hulk in the back, or do you guys like Wolverine limited series? I think this was 19. When was this? 1988, and this was 1982. So this one actually predates that, but shockingly, like the Hulk 340 sells for so much. I don't understand. I would rather get a first limited series, and instead of Hulk 340. The interesting thing also about Wolverine #1 on the CGC, sorry, on the CBCS census, the last time I looked, which was quite a while ago, there was about, I think, 9 of them in newsstand, because CBCS's census is great. It's like 10. CGC's is probably about 8.5, I'd say. Actually, no. CBCS is probably 9.5. It would have been 10 if it talked about the white pages and the page color as well. But CGC is probably about an 8, then I'd say. They don't break out the newsstand or not. So that's unfortunate. But what I'm trying to say is if we use CBCS's data to extrapolate, in general also, newsstands represent about 10%. For the most part, that is, okay, guys? Like, I know, like, X-Men 101, the first Phoenix, they're all newsstand. Like, good luck finding a direct edition. They just didn't exist back then. But for newsstands a little bit after that, it's about a 10% ratio. So, gosh, I'm just looking at this book. I think this is it. I think this is almost perfect. This is truly a 9.8. Yeah. Oh my goodness. This is a nice copy. I'll let you guys take a look in a second here. I'm just going to go here, edit search, Wolverine limited series, book #1. In general, like if you watch my Hulk versus Giant Size X-Men book, I made a point about how #1s are never generally like that rare, because everyone's like, that's #1, I gotta get 16 copies. So the thing about this one, again, it's the #1, so everyone bought the crap out of this one. And yeah, this is like what a collector would have picked up because it's new. And like Marvel and like DC probably does this too in Image. They to do the reboot, so there's always a new #1 of the series. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is this one's not rare. Like Wolverine Limited Series #1 is not rare. There's 20,000 of them graded. Sorry, there's more than that. There's 20,509 in blue, 4,200 signed, 42 in restored, 120 in qualified. So in total, let's just drop the restored and qualified out of there. There's about 25,000 of these graded. And of those 25,000, here's just some food for thought. There's 3 of these in 10 gem mint 10s. There's 29 of these in 9.9, and there's about 4,750 in these in 9.8s. So if we do the math, let's just take that last number. Well, let's just do 10% of the 9.8. So 3720 plus 1029 times 0.10. There is 470 of these in the world, roughly. And there's an article online that talks about how rare these are to come by, and they are. And I think this will be a sleeper, especially when Wolverine comes out. Anyways, sorry, I wanted to show you guys this one up close. We have a little bit of funky stuff going on there. Clean. There's no tear on the glove there. Clean book. There's a little bit of color whatever on the cover. It's not damaged. Now this corner here, it looks like it's been dropped. Possibly. That could drop it down from a 9.8 to a 9.6 because it's not a binary tear, it's like a drop. Spine wise, look at the, like absolutely nothing on it. So this book has been worked on, whereas the other one, it has not been worked on. Yeah, look at that corner, looks pretty good. It's not a 10. No funky extra stuff in that corner. Kind of like my New Mutants, like the Psylocke. This corner is not the sharpest. It's weird also, the book looks like it goes uptick like that, like here. Yeah. Ooh. The more I look, the more I see. So that definitely is not perfect. You see, that almost looks like that corner is about to rip off. And this corner here also not perfect. But, you know. Anyhow, thank you guys for watching. If you're still here at this point, kudos to you guys. So there we have it. 2 Wolverine #1s in newsstands. Beautiful books. Like, yeah. Let me know in the comment below, what would you do? Would you rather get 2 of these in newsstands? Would you rather get 2 of these in 9.8 signed? Or would you rather get a, what grade could you get in 2 of these? Let's see, 2. You could probably get a Incredible Hulk 181 in about a 3.0, roughly. Maybe a 3.5. What would you rather have? Let me know in the comments below. Would you rather have a 9.3 options here? 9.8 blue in newsstand, 9.8 signed in non-newsstand. Let's just throw it in all there, all 3 of them. Chris Claremont, Frank Miller, Joe Rubenstein. Or would you rather have a 3.0, 3.5 blue Hulk 181? Let me know. Yeah, 3 options here. Love to hear your comments and what you guys think. Yeah, I am happy that I grabbed this one here in my right hand. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, this is great condition. Very happy, yay. Alright guys, thank you again for watching. I know this has been a long video, just a lot to unbox in this one. Wow, 40 minutes, my goodness. Keep on collecting, have fun out there, of course. I don't think we're at the market bottom yet, But, you know, like at the end of the day, buy what you love. And if the opportunity comes by and it's something that you want, make sure you spend smart, but just kind of buy it. Have fun. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Appreciate you all. And we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.